After leaving Salinas and Monterey, Steinbeck wrote the following. It would be pleasant to be able to say of my travels with Charlie, I went out to find the truth about my country and I found it. And then it would be such a simple matter to set down my findings and lean back comfortably with a fine sense of having discovered truths and taught them to my readers. I wish it were that easy. But what I carried in my head and deeper in my perceptions was a barrel of worms. This monster of a land, this mightiest of nations, this spawn of the future, turns out to be the macrocosm of microcosm me. If an Englishman or a Frenchman or an Italian should travel my route, see what I saw, hear what I heard, their stored pictures would not only be different from mine, but equally different from one another. If other Americans reading this account should feel it true, that agreement would only mean that we are alike in our Americanness. From start to finish, I found no strangers. If I had, I might be able to report them more objectively. But these are my people, and this is my country. If I found matters to criticize and to deplore, they were tendencies equally present in myself. If I were to prepare one immaculately inspected generality, it would be this. For all of our enormous geographical range, for all of our sectionalism, for all of our interwoven breeds drawn from every part of the ethnic world, we are a nation, a new breed. Americans are much more American than they are Northerners, Southerners, Westerners, or Easterners. This is not patriotic whoop-de-doo. It is carefully observed fact. California Chinese, Boston Irish, Wisconsin German, and Alabama blacks have more in common than they have apart. The American identity is an exact and provable thing. Starting on my return journey, I realized by now that I could not see everything. This journey had been like a full dinner of many courses set before a starving man. At first, he tries to eat all of everything, but as the meal progresses, he finds he must forgo some things to keep his appetite and his taste buds functioning. Steinbeck later reflects, why had I thought I could learn anything about the land? For the last hundreds of miles, I had avoided people. Even at necessary stops for gasoline, I had answered in monosyllables and retained no picture. I was fooling myself that this was important or even instructive. I've stopped seeing. When that happens, you think you'll never see again. As I arrived in Los Angeles and Malibu, much of the same occurred to me and settled over my psyche. I too had felt the time had come to close out my journey. I made the decision, justifying it to myself and any other interested party as being due to the extreme heat and hurricane season hitting the regions of the country that were up next on my itinerary, and it didn't seem advisable to continue. The reality is, just like Steinbeck, I had become supersaturated. I couldn't see any longer, and I was missing that which I had meant to observe. Upon reflection, I also had to agree with him about his observations of America and Americans. We exist in a fiercely divided time. Some might suggest we are irreparably severed from each other. I don't believe all hope is lost because I too found that we are more alike than different. We just happen to be hyper-focused on the differences. I imagine anyone else taking my journey would find some different experiences and have some different takeaways. Perhaps it is the lingering optimist in me. Perhaps it is the frightened peacekeeper. But some core part of me is not willing to accept that we are incapable of rediscovering that common ground. Los Angeles is vilified as the projector of all that is wrong with the country. But that's by people who only experience it through someone else's reporting. Sure, there are problems with the infrastructure and the governance and a whole host of other things people from all perspectives can pick at. But if you look at it as the macrocosm of microcosm me Steinbeck described, you'll find it is made up of parents and children, siblings, spouses, friends, colleagues, neighbors, lovers, and even enemies. It is executives, laborers, artists, service providers, craftsmen, educators, dreamers, and loafers. It is the macrocosm of microcosm us, humanity. And it's not just Los Angeles. It's New York, Dallas, Nashville, Seattle, Denver, Peoria, Detroit, Atlanta, New Orleans, Tulsa, and 100 other places that, in their uniqueness, are also very much the same. As I wrap up my journey, I've come to accept that while I not only didn't see everything, I actually saw very little. I saw what mattered. I saw what I needed to see. I saw me, and I saw us.